business questions. Let's get our board of directors in here to help us out. New York Times small business columnist Gene Marks is the head of the Marks Group, a firm that provides technology and consulting services to small and medium-sized businesses. And Shama Hyder is the CEO of the Marketing Zen Group, a full-service online marketing and digital PR firm. It's so great to see both of you guys.
Happy to be here.
Pleasure to be here. All right, let's dive right into these questions. The first one is about tax time.
We're a fast-growing small business. The first year, I did the taxes. Now some of my staff does. But at what point should we go find outside help to do our taxes? Should we base it on revenue level, or on how much it annoys my director of collaboration, or on some other metric?
I'm going to go with how much it annoys your director of collaboration. What do you guys think? What do you think?
Well, I mean, sorry, but I don't know if you know this about me, JJ, but I'm actually a CPA.
I do know that about you. That's why I'm starting with you.
I'm not a very good CPA. For me, if it was always close enough, it's good enough, and that's not the way you want to be as a CPA. But I do say this, for any small business owner that's running a business, I mean, whether they have one or two employees, you know, you're supposed to focus on what you do best and outsource the rest. I mean, taxes, even in my company, I have 10 people. It is a complex world, whether it's payroll taxes or individual or corporate taxes. You should have a CPA involved in your company as early as possible. And, you know, you're going to spend a little extra money, but whatever you're investing in that person, that's what they do. You focus on what you do best, and that should happen as soon as you can.
And by the way, if you have that money, then you have all this free time, because it will take you much longer.
No doubt. And you'll probably do it wrong.
Yeah. Did you ever do your own taxes for your business?
My first year, I
did also. Okay, there you go.
A good CPA is a strong ROI, and so you outsource that, and you might be surprised as to what you end up saving. So when I actually let someone else do it, I realized, oh wow, I could have had those deductions, and I just didn't realize it when I was doing it myself. So by all means, and it's not going to cost you that much, especially if you're a small business.
Right. Okay. So go ahead. The answer is now.
Now.
Go get someone to help you now. Okay.
Right away.
Moving on. This is a question about creating a collaborative environment.
How do you go about picking the best software solution or the best systems to help your staff communicate effectively and pass tasks on efficiently and effectively?
I love this, because when you're small, you guys both know this, but you started tiny, it's easy. You're all sitting in a room together. I'm doing this and passing it on to you. As you grow, suddenly you need to systematize it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say start with your goals. Figure out exactly what it is, what type of tasks. You know, are you looking at 3 people who need to work on one project, or do you have multiple projects? And then I would look at finding software that fits that goal best. There's so many in the marketplace. Basecamp is one, for example. It just depends on your specific needs, and so the bigger your team is, the more complex you need to look for. And then look at reviews. That's really your best friend online. So start with your goals, pick a few software that you really think might help you accomplish those, and then look up reviews to narrow those choices down.
Yeah, Shari, you're absolutely right. There are a ton of really good players that are out there as well, and really you got to figure out if you got the culture to do it. I mean, a lot of companies, you hire people, right? You have people around the country, you have people that you're trying to collaborate. Do you have the culture to manage them? Will any of these work? And really, at this stage in 2014, most of the big name applications that are out there, like Basecamp is awesome, Zoho is awesome, Google Apps are great, Microsoft got Office 365. These are all like pretty standard applications that most small businesses are using right now. Some are just using them better than others, only because they've got a better culture for doing it.
I think that is such an important point. You can give people as many tools as you want. If they don't use them, it's a waste.
That's exactly right.
Politics, everything in business.
And people get so caught up in figuring out the features of these applications. We'll do this, we'll do that. Honestly, at this stage, they're all pretty good. Particularly right now, we're not all that complex, right? So it just depends on whether or not you're going to make that use of technology.
Got it. Okay, so just dive in. All right, let's get to the next question. It's about negative reviews.
I have a question around poor reviews on social media like Yelp and on Amazon. I've had one person give a tremendously horrible review on a book that's really unjust. How do we handle that?
All right, he's talking about books, but it applies across the board. You're a restaurant, you're a service, you have a product, someone gives you a bad review.
Yeah, so first I got to give a shout out to my sister. My sister is a doctor. She runs 2 offices in South Philadelphia. I would not let her cut my fingernails, by the way, but I'm told she's a very, very good doctor. She's been practicing forever. She's got like 1,000 patients. She's up on Yelp, and somebody gave her like a bad review. She got a couple of bad reviews. This happens, right? Because it's the internet, and there are a lot of knuckleheads that are on the internet. And it just bummed her out for an entire weekend. And you can't let that happen to you, because it is the internet.
You can't let it bum you out.
You can't let it bum you out. You can't. I mean, look at this guy that was saying that you could tell it really upset him. If you're going to be out there, you're going to be on Yelp, you're opening yourself up to people just making his comments about that. So number 1 is you don't take it to heart. You don't let it bum you out. And number 2 is if you're going to respond, and you should always respond, always take the high road. The last thing you want to do is get in a fight with somebody online. You will lose.
I also think if you get a couple bad reviews and it is not truly reflective, right? If it's reflective of your service, you've got to fix it internally. But if it's not, you better bolster up that review site with some good ones.
Absolutely. Here's what most small business owners don't realize about reviews. A bad review can actually help their business because it humanizes it. The problem is when you only have one review and it's a bad review.
Right.
When you, like with your sister, if you've
Right.
got, if you've got hundreds of really great positive reviews, that one negative review actually makes you seem more human. It makes it people believe the positive reviews more just by contrast. So it can actually work in your favor. I think the key though is to not focus on necessarily the negative review, but make sure that you're constantly cultivating the positive ones, which most businesses don't do. They're so hung up on the negative ones.
Right. I'll tell you what I told Vicky as well. I feel bad we're talking about. She doesn't get up this early anyway, so I'm sure she's not watching. But she's got to invest in somebody, or at least some admin in her office to keep looking at Yelp and some of these other sites. Because she's there, and if people are out there talking about her, they got to be ready to respond.
And by the way, if someone gives a bad review, sometimes they have a good point.
That's true.
And it's a really good way, as I was saying, to figure out something that you could fix in your business. All right, well, you guys are so great to see you both. And if you have a question for our experts, all you have to do is go to our website. We answer them every week on the show. The address is openforum.com/yourbusiness. Once you get there, go to the Ask the Show link to submit a question for our panel.